BTS, we often picture the bright lights, the powerful performances, and the global phenomenon they've become. But behind the fame, there's a quieter story, one told through their music, a story of heartbreak, loneliness, growth, and the silent battles they've fought both as artists and as people. These aren't just songs, they're actually confessions, letters written in lyrics, moments where BTS let the world see who they really are, vulnerable, honest, and achingly human. So today we're diving into 10 saddest BTS songs, not just because they sound sad, but because they carry the weight of real emotions. And if you've ever loved, lost, or felt alone, you might just find yourself in these melodies too. Anpanman. At first glance, Anpanman feels like the least likely song to be on the list like this. It's bright, it's energetic, and the performance is one of their most joyful. But when you dig into the lyrics, when you really sit with them, it becomes something deeply heartbreaking. The song feels like a question, actually a confession. It's about loving someone so much that you're willing to tear yourself apart just to help them. Anpanman is actually based on a Japanese hero, if you can call him that. He has no powers, he's just bread. And when someone's hungry, he literally tears off a piece of himself to feed them. That's it. That's his power. Self-sacrifice. At a press conference, BTS even described him as the weakest superhero of all time. But that's what makes it so emotional and probably even so painful, because his strength isn't in his fists, it's in his heart and in his compassion. So when BTS sings Anpanman, they're not just dancing in capes, they're telling you they're tired, that they feel small. But even in that exhaustion, they still want to be there for you, even if it means giving away parts of themselves. The Truth Untold. The Truth Untold is one of the most gut-wrenching love songs BTS has ever done. The narrative behind it is simple but devastating. There's a man who hides behind the mask, ashamed of his appearance. In his garden blooms a fictional flower, Esmeralda. Every day a girl comes and steals his flowers, and every day he lets her. Why? Because he loves her. He never speaks, never shows himself. He just keeps the flowers blooming, so she'll keep on coming back to steal them. And that's all there is to their love story. One-sided, silent, and unrequited. What breaks you is the truth behind it. Loving someone with no hope of being loved back, and still choosing to love them anyway. It's not a story of heartbreak after love. It's the story of a love that never ever began. You suffer loss, even before possession. There is nothing more courageous than that. Whalien 52. Whalien 52 tells the story of a whale that sings at 52 hertz, too high for other whales to hear. And for decades, it's been singing alone, unheard. BTS used that as a metaphor for themselves, speaking truths in their music that no one seemed to understand. It's the loneliness of creating art in a world that doesn't always listen. In the Beatles documentary, one of them said, "No one can ever truly understand what it's like to be us. Not even our wives. Only each other." That's what Whalien 52 captures. Just like the Beatles, BTS has reached a level of fame no one else has. They've broken boundaries, paved the way, but in doing so, they've also separated themselves from the rest. Jin, the oldest member, even once said that he finds it hard to actually make friends because many of his former friends just find it awkward to hang out with him. BTS sings at a frequency only they can hear, and sometimes that kind of isolation is the saddest thing of all. Tear or Tear. The double meaning of the title Tear or Tear, as in crying and as in breaking, is deliberate. When it first came out, fans thought it was a breakup song, romantic, intense, and devastating. But later, Suga revealed the truth. It was written about BTS themselves. At the time, they were seriously considering disbandment, and this song was Suga's love letter to the members. His way of saying, "Are we still okay? Do I still bring joy? When you look at me, do you still smile?" That moment, realizing that the people you've shared your life with might not feel the same way anymore. That's haunting. And that's really, really sad. Because the one thing you can't fake is the look in someone's eyes when they love you. And when the light disappears, you know. Even if their actions say otherwise, even if they say otherwise, that look of a lost love, the look of a faded love, nothing is more painful than that. Black Swan. Black Swan is a cry from the soul of an artist. It asks what happens when your passion no longer brings you joy. As someone who lives for creativity, I understand this deeply. There's a terrifying moment when the thing you've built your identity around suddenly doesn't move you anymore. I remember Kobe Bryant once said he knew it was time to retire the day he woke up and didn't think about basketball anymore. Black Swan isn't about a breakup, it's about a loss of self. When your art stops loving you back, who are you? Moving on. This track is quiet, underplayed, and underrated, but to me, it's one of the most sentimental songs they've ever written. Moving On was written when they were leaving their very first dormitory, a tiny room they all shared. It was cramped, chaotic, probably uncomfortable, but it was theirs. And that's where they began. And despite the joy of moving to a bigger place, there was grief in leaving behind that small shared dream. It marked the end of simplicity, of innocence. That old dorm was where they bonded, where they suffered together, and where they became BTS. Growing up means saying goodbye to versions of yourself, and sometimes, even when you're walking toward something better, it still hurts to let go of what made you who you are. Dead Leaves. Dead Leaves is the sound of a love that's already slipping through your fingers. It's not the kind of heartbreak that crashes in all at once. It's the kind that fades, like the slow turning of a season. The song uses autumn as its metaphor, the leaves turning brown, drying out, drifting to the ground. And that's exactly what the relationship in this song feels like. Something once vibrant and now fading, falling apart despite your best efforts to hold it together. What makes Dead Leaves especially painful is the pace of it. It's not a sudden break. It's slow, it's quiet, it's happening right in front of your eyes, and you are completely powerless to stop it. Like watching a glass slip from someone's hand in slow motion. You know it's going to shatter. You know that there's no saving it, but for those few suspended seconds, a part of you still hopes that maybe it won't fall. Or maybe if it does, it's not going to break. Or maybe you can catch it. And that's the illusion Dead Leaves gives you. That desperate hope in the face of inevitability. And that's what breaks your heart the most. Not the ending itself, but the quiet, helpless wait for it. Because sometimes the most painful goodbyes aren't loud. They're silent, slow, and impossible to stop. Rain. On the surface, Rain sounds like a breakup song. Gentle, moody, full of melancholy. But the heartbreak it speaks of runs much deeper. It's not about losing a person, it's about losing the dream. At that time they wrote this, BTS was in a place many artists find themselves in, chasing something beautiful only to be met with pressure, criticism, and exhaustion. They had worked hard to succeed, only to reach the top and find that it didn't feel the way they thought it would feel. It rained. Not just outside, but inside too. And not the kind of rain that refreshes, but the kind that soaks into your bones and weighs you down. In rain, you can hear the sound of disillusionment, the quiet unraveling that comes when your passion starts to feel like a burden. They weren't just questioning the path they were on, they were questioning whether the dream they fought so hard for was even theirs anymore. They sing, I press down my hat deeply today too because I don't want to show my face. That one line speaks volumes. It's not just about hiding from camera or crowds, it's about hiding from yourself, from the disappointment, from the weariness, and from the sadness that you can't quite explain. Rain is soft, but it is heavy. It doesn't shout its sadness, it lets it drip slowly until you're drenched in it. Interlude Shadow. If Dead Leaves is about watching someone else fall apart, Shadow is about the terrifying moment you realize it's you. You're the one crumbling. Written by Suga, Interlude Shadow isn't just a song, it's a confession. A cry from someone standing at the height of success only to realize that the higher you climb, the darker the shadow becomes. The line, I pray that I'll be alright, isn't just poetic, it's quiet, desperate plea. Not for more fame, not for more strength, but just to survive. Because there comes a point when you look in the mirror and you don't recognize the person you're starting to become. You've worked so hard, run so fast, carried so much that somewhere along the way you lost parts of yourself. And what makes Shadow so devastating is that realization that no one else can save you. Not your friends, not your fans, not even yourself. The very dreams that once lifted you up now feels heavy. The spotlight that once lit your path now casts a long, cold shadow. And in that shadow stands your fear, your doubt, your exhaustion, all the parts you've hidden just to keep going. Shadow is the sound of a soul unraveling quietly. It's what happens when you get everything you ever wanted and still feel completely lost. Spring Day. Spring Day is the obvious choice, but for a reason. It's a masterpiece in expressing grief through simplicity. The line, I miss you, and the more I say it, I miss you more, captures something so universal, so devastating with such plain language. This song isn't about closure, it's about longing, and the most painful part, knowing the person you're longing for is never coming back. It's grief stripped down to its most honest form. No dramatics, no disguise, just longing. Spring Day doesn't try to fix anything, it doesn't offer closure, instead, it lingers in that space where loss still lives, where you're waiting for someone who won't come, where winter never seems to end. And that's what makes it so devastating. It captures that kind of love that's frozen in time, a love that continues, even in absence, even when all you can do is whisper into the cold air, I miss you. There's no resolution here, no tidy ending, just a quiet promise that somewhere, somehow, the spring day will come, but maybe not for both of you. I hope that you enjoyed that, and I can do more of it if you let me know that you like it. Please like the video, please subscribe, and please hit that notification button so that you don't miss a single video that I upload. Also, share the video to your friends, to your social media. That's really helping my channel. Also, please be a member of my Patreon community. It's a great one if you want to discuss Asian entertainment, literature, TV shows, history, if you have questions to ask, or if you just want to be able to express your unpopular opinion without getting canceled or criticized, that's a great place to start. And for as long as you do it respectfully, you are good. We do have a free tier just in case you want to try things out first. And also, please follow me on Twitter. I'll see you there.